My past life in the new IFB. This has been stuck in my head for a while. I want to talk about how I was in the new IFB for about 8 years, almost a decade. Because I know a lot of you guys can relate to how you were part of new IFB. A lot of my subscribers are former new IFB members. And I just want to talk about my journey from entering to leaving. I first started new IFB when I first started college, early college. The reason why I got sucked into it so fast is the craziness of college. Constant agendas being pushed into me, left and right. You couldn't go anywhere without agenda being pushed. Another thing is the stress of college, which, by the way, college is BS. They scam you. They don't teach you what you want. Don't go there. It was a huge waste of time. I should have never gone there. And there are so many freaking narcissist jerks over there in college. So many freaking narcissist jerks. So many people who have not grown up, both the teachers and the students. Screw college. Don't go to college. And that was the primary reason why I kept getting sucked more and more into it. Now, all the things, I still believe that the new IFB is right about a lot of issues. I believe in post-trib. I believe in salvation by faith alone. I believe in King James onlyism. I believe in a lot of these things. Problem is, they're super extreme about a lot of issues that don't even matter. Issues that are very interpretive. But I let it all slide because I felt as though it was the only way. I even went through phases, maybe they are right about this subject, this subject, this subject. They talk about like homosexuality for a second. Because I dealt with, because gay stuff kept getting thrown in my face from college. Constant agendas pushed here. Another reason why I was constantly into new IFB and the online chat rooms and stuff, because it was targeted gay stuff. I believe in the reprobate doctrine. I believe that homosexuals are reprobate, but plenty of people are just confused. That's the stance I've always taken. There's plenty of people who are just confused, especially nowadays with all the agendas being thrown at you. That makes sense. That's the stance I've always taken. So many freaking Karens in the chat refuse to give any benefit of the doubt, even though Pastor Anderson himself admitted that once in one of the interviews. But there's so many freaking Karens in the chat. But I dealt with it because they were still better than the Karens in real life college. And let me talk about this moment. This is an infamous moment. This is probably still out there. I once called in, like this was when I was in later in the college. I was about 21 this time. I called in to one of the Red Hot preaching conferences about fornication to heaven. Me. One of my videos is up there. Two of my videos, the new one's the best, on this subject. They let me talk for almost 3 hours. I used to feel bad about it, but because I went so overboard, and there was a lot of stress on me because of all college stuff. I used to feel bad about it, but now that I know that they're a bunch of child abusers, I ruined the day of a bunch of child abusers and wife beaters, so I don't feel sorry at all about any of that. But the main reason I got sucked into new IFB because of the craziness of college and all the crazy agendas being pushed to me. I still believe that if I had never went to college, I would have left the new IFB way earlier. Within the first year, definitely. I would have stopped listening to them. I would have gotten saved. I would have gotten saved and eventually just stopped listening to them. Now, I will say there were benefits from the sound. I do not 100% regret my time in new IFB. I regret my time in college. I do not 100% regret my time in new IFB. Because I did do a lot of good. I witnessed to so many people. In college days, I would make it my mission to witness to one person every day. And I tried everything I could to do that because I missed a few days. But I really did witness to so many people in college. And I felt like because college is so freaking evil and satanic, don't go there, complete ripoff, completely evil. I felt as though I had to witness to so many people. And my early days in new IFB, which was again also in college days, I was very argumentative. I would debate people. I had to grow out of that. I would argue with one of my art teachers who I wasn't the most mature person back then, but I still feel largely justified in art, because she would go off on toxic masculinity and bring up and teach freaking evolution in an art class. Keep in mind, this was an art class and she's teaching evolution. What? And all this stuff. And sometimes she was flat out lie about history, say, well, Christianity started Catholicism. No, it didn't. You just said it started 300 years earlier. Oh, yeah, but it really started Catholicism. No, it didn't. Freaking liar. And I wasn't the most mature person back then, but I still feel greatly justified in this. I had to learn not to argue because of stuff like this. I do believe that, in a way, the craziness of college kind of told me it's best to become a casual in a weird way. When college ended is when I started physically going to the Steadfast Baptist Church, because I was there at the original location to when they started moving around place to place to place, and all the way to the final location that they are now. I was through all of that, and by the time I started going there physically, I made it. I already said in my heart, I'm gonna be a casual. Not only is it like 20 something minutes away, I'm gonna be a casual because I want to avoid trying to strive and debate. I saw a lot of weird things there that I let slide. For starters, there were so many paddles. Why are there so many freaking paddles for kids? If you think your kid can't behave, then just don't bring your kid. Just don't bring your kid if you believe you're afraid. But I let it slide. I let it slide. I remember one time at one of the parties at Steadfast, there was a literal Nazi cake. A literal freaking Nazi cake. I again let it slide because, well, maybe, and I was being real generous. Maybe it's the different type of swastika, like the from India. It's a different. I tried everything in my power. Why was that there? That should have been my sign to. And my family told me that, yo, these guys are crazy. These guys, New FB is crazy. They teach a bunch of weird things. They were right about a lot of things, but I never agreed with them 100%. And looking back, mom had a point. Mom was right. They are crazy. I didn't know that they were beating kids. But then by the time I started physically going there, I was already deciding in my heart, I'm just going to be a casual. I didn't get super involved. Throughout the next 4 years, I started getting involved in other things, started doing MMA, I moved to a UPS. I started doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And I slowly realized my life didn't really revolve around New IFB anymore. I got sucked into New IFB because of the stress of college and the craziness of the times. After college, I wasn't hugged down by anything anymore. So I got involved in a bunch of stuff. And by the time that the allegations against Pastor Anderson came out, I was already just completely checked out. I was only going through the motion. I physically went there to Steadfast, but I would forget the sermon the next day because they keep repeating the same thing on loop over and over and over. And when I was New IFB, I was under this kind of stress. If I miss church, then God's gonna strike me down or something. Because I did miss church a few times, and I would get, oh crap. Like here nowadays, if I miss church, I try to go to Regency Baptist Church. I'm at Regency Baptist Church, the place where Steven Anderson was supposedly became a pastor there. They did not pray for him to become a pastor. So Steven Anderson is a liar. And now, if I miss church, I don't get that. I don't get too stretched. I don't get too stressed about it. Because that's what the New IFB teaches. And this is the problem with the New IFB. The authoritativeness. You must agree with us or else. In fact, the main reason I started going there physically was so I could avoid the chat. The chat was super freaking toxic. There were so many weirdos in the chat. This one guy said how he's happy that he bought a chastity belt when he was a kid to stop him from doing what? It was so freaking insane. I remember there was this one gamer dude who popped up randomly in the chat. I don't know if it was Steadfast. It was one New IFB thing. He popped up randomly in chat, like, what is this? And instead of greeting, like, oh, how are you? We're glad that you found we randomly stumbled across this stream. They say they looked at a gamer tag, gaming gaming can't send you to heaven. Gaming will only send you to hell. Like what the? But he just showed up. He doesn't even know what's going on. And this was the weirdness of these new IFB people. I convinced myself that it was just the trolls online. They're just online trolls, and they're not like that in person. And when I went there in person, I didn't see them. I didn't see the weirdos in person. In hindsight, that's because I wasn't there long enough to see them in person. So, just overall, I got sucked into new IFB because of the stress that was going on in college, and the stress that was going on in my life, and the craziness of the times. When I became a casual, when I got involved in more stuff, I started looking back at everything like, yeah, that's kind of weird, but I let it slide. And there was a lot of weirdos online. There was a lot of weird new IFB Karens online. I convinced myself, oh well, those are just online trolls. That's just internet people. They don't exist in real life. You go there in person, you won't see them. And yeah, I didn't see them because I only went there once a week. In hindsight, no, there was tons of weirdos there. I just didn't see enough of it. There was many red flags at the new IFB. And overall, I'm not going to say that I completely regret my time in new IFB, because while I was in new IFB, I got a lot of people saved. I remember I went to the door-to-door thing with new IFB at least 2 times. And while I was in college, I witnessed, when I was at UTD specifically, because I went to 2 colleges, TCC and UTD. At UTD, I made it a mission to go soul winning every day, and I tried to keep to that, because this is what the new IFB taught me, to be super freaking extreme about everything. Also, college is satanic as heck, so college is satanic as hell, so I had to save as many people as I can from this wicked place. But overall, I got involved because of the craziness of the time and the stress going on in my life. And when I started becoming a casual, getting involved in other things, I looked back and I kind of stopped caring. I started just going through the motions. By the time the allegations against Pastor Anderson came out, I just went ahead and left like, nah, ain't about it. No, peace. I hope you can relate to this story and know that you're not the only one who was fooled by him. He was right about a lot of things, but he's still a terrible person. See you guys later.